On behalf of the United States Army, it's my pleasure to be able to recognize and honor Avery Joseph Kimbrough for his appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point. A West Point education is valued in excess of over $200,000. And with an acceptance rate in the single digits, you certainly don't have to be John Krakauer, Avery, to understand that you're getting ready to move into some extremely rare and thin air. Avery, I'm not sure how your appointment to West Point was originally omitted from our 2020 senior awards. On behalf of Weddington High School, I certainly apologize for that omission, but I have a couple of thoughts on the issue. Number one, Avery Kimbrough is the type of individual that does not need the limelight, nor does he seek it. The limelight just seems to find him. And secondly, it's been my experience in life that sometimes it's your very best people whose performance is so brilliantly consistent that you begin to take them for granted because they're so reliable. And to give you a baseball analogy, because that's all I really know, and Avery, you're a baseball player. Avery, you're like that player that the manager, when he fills out his lineup card, he just fills in your name in the 3 or 4 hole. Does it for 162 games each year. And when your career is over and you flip over their baseball card and you look at the bat and you see the statistics, you see they hit 25 to 30 home runs each year, drove in 125 or 30 runs. They were that consistent. You could count on. I would now tell you this. I do believe there are 3 things in life you can count on: death, taxes, and Avery Kimbrough. Avery, when I think of you, there are a couple things that come to mind. A couple things that I wrote in a letter of recommendation for you in April of 2019. The first was simply this: Avery's level of maturity simply dwarfs that of his peers, and that is so very true. Secondly, I wrote this again in April of 2019, not April of 2020. Avery brings an infectious enthusiasm to all of his endeavors that spreads like the plague and infects all around him. That is simply true. I might word a little bit different today, but Avery, you have an infectious enthusiasm that rivals no one that I've ever seen. And lastly, when I think of you, Avery, I think of the words that one of your coaches mentioned to me 3 years ago. This is a coach that throws around compliments like they were manhole covers. We were discussing you. He simply said this. He said, "Dave, it doesn't matter if Avery plays 1 minute for us because his mere presence makes our team that much better." Think about that for a moment. Your mere presence and leadership makes everyone around you better. That's the very definition of a high tide that raises all boats. Avery, congratulations again on your appointment to West Point. Thank you for your willingness to serve our nation. As you get ready to take your place in that long gray line, I would simply tell you this, young man. I have 4 children. I would not hesitate to place any one of those 4 under your charge because at the end of the day, I know they'd be better people if I haven't had that experience.